began my work in 1976, I wanted to make sure half the borrowers in my program are women. So because I don't have to face the same criticism against me. And it was a difficult task because women, poor women, didn't know what to do with money, didn't understand what the bank is. So it was a long, drawn track to make sure we get the women to get involved in taking money and start a business of their own. Very tiny little money. When I say money, it's about $30, $35, $50. That's about the money. It took us 6 years to achieve that goal, to make 50-50, half the borrowers as women. Then we started noticing that money which went to the women brought so much more benefit to the family than the same amount of money going to the family through men. Seeing side by side, same money can do better in terms of impact in the family if you enter the family through women than if you enter the family through men. So we said, why don't we focus on women? So we started focusing on women. Today, Grameen Bank has over 8.5 million borrowers, and 97% of them are women. And all the good things that happened during all these years is because we did the right thing, we focused on women, the status of women in the family changed completely. And it brought so much more new initiatives around the country, bringing the women in the picture. So the empowerment of women became a very strong piece of the work that we were doing.
You said that social business is saving social problems, right? What do you mean when you say that?
When you talk about business, immediately you know this is something to make money. So business and making money became integrated in itself. What we did, we kind of separate them out. We started using business to solve problems of the people without having intention of making money personally. And we started calling this type of business as social business. It's a non-dividend company to solve human problems. Unlike the conventional business, where you go into business to make more and more money for yourself, so you have no time to look at the problems of other people, how you can do anything for them. So your whole focus is yourself. You are concentrating your attention on yourself. In social business, we are concentrating on other people. And we can take any problem and design a business to solve that problem, and it starts solving it. And it becomes very powerful mechanism. Other mechanism available to do that is charity, philanthropy. But in philanthropy, money goes out, does a good work, the money doesn't come back. So you have only one-time use of your money. But if you use it in a social business way, money goes out, does the work, and it comes back. Then you have unlimited use of the money. The same money can achieve a lot more, and it becomes very powerful. You create an institution which grows by itself. So that's the idea of social business.
These days you meet Sarajevo people, Bosnia. How would you help us? This is a poor country, people don't have jobs.
One thing I try to do, explain what I do, and if that makes sense to them, they can do it themselves. You don't need somebody else to come and do it for you. It's a very simple thing. Like when we did the microcredit, so just lending money to the poor, we have already developed certain methodologies which work. Already microcredit is here, and this will be done good thing. And now the social business can be brought in to make sure that many other things can be addressed with them. And I already see some responses because of my visit here. I see BBI is becoming interested, and Centennial Fund from Saudi Arabia became very interested, and IUS become very interested to collaborate to see similar thing can be done. One of the issues that I've been raising, and I've been using it in Bangladesh, is that the young people don't have to be job hunters after they graduate, after they finish school. And traditionally what they do, they go out and try to find jobs. And if you don't have jobs around, it's a very frustrating experience. And they feel sad, they feel very totally depressed because they can't get a job. And if somebody doesn't get a job, people look at him or look at her, it's your failure. It's not something to be assigned to anybody else. You could not find a job. So you feel helpless. I did everything, and I'm capable, and I want to do things, and people blame me for not finding a job. I said, that's absolutely wrong way. Young people should not be looking for jobs. Looking for a job is a wrong strategy for young people. Young people should be creators of jobs, not hunter of a job. I said, why don't we do that and try to bring it the young people in Bangladesh to believe that we are not job seekers, we are job creators and become entrepreneurs. So we create social business fund and ask the young people to come up with business ideas so that we can invest and become partner with them. And we make them successful. And as a result, they can return the money that we put in them and they can continue with their work. Since we are social business, we are not interested in sharing their profit. Profit belongs to them. All the fund wants to get the money back, that's all. So this, young people are responding to that very well. We can do through the similar method of addressing the problem of the young people by collaboration of BBI and Centennial Fund and IUS to make that happen. It's not a kind of rocket science, it's not something that you don't have to really research and so on. It's a very simple thing. You create that opportunity and young people take that opportunity and become job creators instead of job hunters.
You said people must change themselves, but people must change themselves first. What do you mean when you say that?
Change meaning the way you think. The changing has to take place in your mind. What we do is because what we have been thinking, the way our minds are created, that's why we work. And these mindsets are created in our schools, in our homes, in our families. You come up with ideas, certain ideas, you look through the lenses of your environment. So that kind of gives you certain process by which you come up with a mindset and you try to do things according to your mindset. If a new thing comes, which is completely different than what you think, you will find it extremely difficult to accept it. So that by the time you make up your mind, your mindset is solid, it's very, very difficult to change that mindset. So I said, young people are the one where the mindset is still not completely made up. So why don't you bring things to them so that they can see it in a very clear eyes, rather than with the tainted glasses of their previous mindset. So that's how if you can change the mindset, different kind of things can happen easily, without any problem. Things that we didn't see before, now we started seeing them. Things that we didn't understand before, we started understanding it. So that's what happens when we change your mindset. That's what I meant by saying we have to change ourselves. And it's a process, it's not something that happens right over time. The kind of things I'm talking about, every time I talk to people here, they find it very unusual, very off the box, doesn't sound everyday experience. So that gives you first experience, something different can exist and work. And it's a very simple thing, it's not complicated thing. So you cannot just throw it away because it's so simple, so convincing that you want to think about it. So that thinking process starts in your mind. You start changing yourself and do things which you never did before.
My last question, you've heard this question several times, but I must ask how it feels to win a Nobel Prize as a human.
Well, it's a great experience. You never knew that such a thing will happen to yourself. When you do things, you are doing things because either you feel very strongly about it or you enjoy doing it. So that's what, in my case also, like everybody else, I was doing it because I felt strongly about something that I was doing. So that is the focus. So you are not waiting for somebody giving you a prize, giving you an award. But when it happens, it's a fantastic experience. Because suddenly the entire world's attention falls on you. As if you are there and the world's floodlight is on you, media is looking at you, every newspaper, every single television station talking about you. That's a very strange feeling, and you start receiving letters, communications, they want to meet you, they want to talk to you. People that you wanted to meet before and you couldn't open the door, suddenly all those doors got open for you. So that's an amazing experience. But at the same time, it may not be permanent. It may be just for a year or so. The focus goes on to the next guy who has the Nobel Peace Prize. It's not on you anymore. In the meantime, you may take advantage of the attention because you want to promote certain ideas. This is a good time to promote that, because soon probably people will be thinking about something else. Before they still have the attention on you, you do that. And luckily for me, the kind of things I've been doing, people retain that attention and continue that attention. And I try to explain why it is important for me, why it is important for everybody else. And I'm not saying that everybody has to switch. I said, these are the experiences. This is what I have gone through. If it makes sense to you, you can do it yourself. So that's the way I've been doing.